Dear Sophie, Happy birthday to my favourite little sister. I've been trying to recollect the day you were born so I can gush about it in an appropriately sentimental fashion, but I'm afraid it's all a blank. I must have been too busy pulling Veronica's hair or smearing stewed apple over my smock to notice you popping into existence. I do remember Henry's arrival 10 years ago, and if you were anything like her, you were a most unattractive baby, wrinkled, red-faced, loud, and rather smelly. Lucky for all of us that you've improved somewhat with age. Now, did the presents arrive safely? I had to go all the way to Knightsbridge for the journal, and then I got detention for sneaking off from games, so I hope you appreciate it. You can use it to write down your thoughts. You must have plenty of them at the moment, given Aunt Charlotte's letter. I assume you've read it by now. Are you thrilled? Terrified? Well, it's all your fault for turning 16. You gave Aunt Charlotte quite a shock when she realized how old you'd suddenly become. She had to sit down and have an extra-large sherry to recover. As for me, this new school is almost as ghastly as the old one. I suppose I'd been hoping Rupert would come too when I was thrown out of Eton, but his parents kept saying no. Worse luck. The housemasters have finally sorted out dormitories, and now I share with 3 boys. 2 are in the rugby first 15. Ugh. The other has noxious feet and learns the bagpipes, so is nearly as bad. I have already had 2 detentions, one for missing games on Saturday and one for not doing Latin prep. The Latin prep wasn't my fault. I didn't know there was any prep because the Latin master told us about it in Latin and I didn't understand a word he said. Remember, I am in March Hare House, so please make sure you put that on the address when you write, otherwise the letters might get lost. It's a good house to be in because it inevitably comes last in the House Cup, so no one cares much when I lose house points. The other good thing about March Hare is that we can climb out to the top-story windows onto the roof and look into the hospital next door, which is very educational. Also, sometimes the nurses come out onto a balcony to smoke, and they throw us a cigarette if we beg nicely. It's almost lights out, so I'd better finish. Tell Veronica to come and live in my trunk so she can secretly do my Latin prep for me. She could write my history essay as well. It is on the Restoration. And ask her to bring Carlos with her so he can eat the bagpipes. Love from your wonderful brother, Toby. As usual, Toby's letter was coded in Kerniton, which Toby and my cousin Veronica and I invented years ago so we could write notes to each other without the grown-ups being able to read them. Kerniton is based on Cornish and Latin, with some Greek letters, and random meaningless squiggles thrown in to be extra confusing. Also, it is boustrophodonic. I adore that word and try to say it as often as possible, but unfortunately it hasn't many everyday uses. Boustrophodonic means you read one line left to right, then the next right to left. Veronica can translate Kerniton straight off the page into English, but I find it much easier to write it out. So there it is, my first entry in my new journal. It has 100 blank pages thick as parchment and a morocco binding and is almost too lovely to write in.